Salt is something you usually don't want in your soil or growing medium. I recently learned that salt can have a positive effect on the resiliency of plants though. Stick around to find out how. Welcome to Fresh K-Town. In the past summer, I had to do an experiment for one of my classes at university. I decided to do a salt stress experiment on tomato plants. It was very basic. We received tomato plants from our faculty that we potted up with a small amount of slow-release fertilizer. After about 5 weeks, when the plants had gotten established, we split them up into 2 groups. The first group we treated normally, watering them regularly whenever they needed it. For the second group, we used salt water when watering. The salt water had a concentration of about 5.8 grams of sodium chloride per liter. We kept the experiment going for about 1 month, in which we hadn't seen real differences between the 2 groups. A big surprise hit us though when we entered the greenhouse after a very hot weekend during which no one had thought to water the plants. Our plants were additionally exposed to a drought stress. One of the groups was de facto dead, whereas the other group still looked alright. My first assumption was that the plants that had been exposed to salt were the ones that looked pretty much dead, as I thought the plants were dried out from the inside through the salt and were cooked away from the outside from the heat. To my surprise, this wasn't the case though. The group that wasn't under salt stress was the dead group, and the salt stress group was alright. And with that, we circle back to the intro. Salt stress can have a positive effect on the resiliency of plants to withstand drought stress. It seems once the plants are affected by salt, they do everything they can to reduce water leaving the plant. They fully close their stomata and turn down their metabolism to be as efficient as possible when it comes to the use of water. In comparison, the plants that weren't exposed to salt kept on living normally when the drought hit and kept their stomata open to enable water to transpire out of the leaves. When all the water from the medium was used up though, they couldn't keep the internal processes going, which led to death. This leads me to suspect that the internal reactions to salt stress are the complete opposite to the reactions to drought stress, and that in the plants exposed to both, the process of surviving the salt stress outweighed the reaction to the drought. If these clashing effects can somehow be exploited for real-life practices, possibly improving plant health in very arid environments, I do not yet know. I think it is very interesting though that 2 influences that one would assume have the same effects, which are drying out the plant, can actually work against each other and help the plant survive. That's all I've got for you today. If you have any further questions, make sure to leave a comment. Also leave a like and subscribe. And until next time, keep on growing. Peace.